We always said great things don't come from comfort zones. I think that if I were to explain Tommy to you guys in college, like the first thing comes to mind, free spirit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I want kids now.
Crazy, huh? So the grass that we're standing on.
Exactly.
On this side.
What rapper can you find in a toolbox?
No MSR. Sorry, guys.
People. ASMR.
ASMR. So I said it right?
No.
ASMR.
Okay, let's dive in.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to It's a Win-Win podcast, where we talk about the things that we go through on a week-to-week basis and what we're processing, the things that we may be feeling, the tensions or the pressure or the challenges that we're going through. And we just process that with you. And this podcast really is to get connected with you guys, the people who are watching or viewing on the podcast or listening to the podcast, and really just create a community around all of this. It's so good to have you guys, whether you guys are watching from home on the couch, or maybe you're listening to this podcast on the way to work. And one thing before we get right into it, I just want to remind you guys, if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe below so you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos. We not only just do this podcast, but we also have vlogs. If you go on the channel, you will see that on YouTube. And make sure to like. If you like the content that's coming out, make sure to like and then engage with us and comment down below. Any questions or anything you guys want to see. So we're going to get right into it. We have an exciting topic to talk about today, which is really relevant to our lives right now, really the past couple of weeks. And my name is Tommy Nguyen, if you haven't met yet.
Yeah, I was going to say we didn't introduce ourselves.
Yeah, I forgot. It's been a little bit since we did the podcast. We're going to keep it raw. We're going to keep it going. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Tommy Nguyen.
And I'm Sopal Nguyen, and that's why it's a win-win podcast. And you guys are watching this on a Wednesday because we do upload our podcast on Wednesdays. So happy Wednesday. We're really excited about today's episode because, like Tommy said, we kind of take you guys through how we're processing things, what's going on in our life. And honestly, it's been a little crazy in the Nguyen household. We've had a lot of new things come up, a lot of just different things that we're not used to doing pop up on our calendar. And it's only September, like the first week of September.
Yeah, so we're going to unpack all of that in this episode today.
And we're talking about work-life balance. And honestly, I don't know if anyone really has work-life balance figured out. I feel like we don't necessarily have it figured out. And so we're going to share with you how we try to balance work and life, especially working from home, which we've been working from home for years now. I've only really ever worked from home ever since I graduated from Purdue. And so it's always been a little bit of a challenge for me to separate my work and my life because I literally live where I work outside of like Sunday mornings at church. But other than that, I'm here working most of the time. Yeah. But with a new transition in our business, we're actually out and about some more. And so we're going to share more about that and update you guys on all the things that has been going on. So do you want to share with everyone what we've been doing?
Yeah. So since Sopal brought up like kind of the business side of things, what we do, we run a marketing business, a marketing company. For those of you who don't know, and we do have some new subscribers, which is great. So thank you guys for joining and subscribing. So one of the things that we do is we run a marketing company, and we recently have transitioned to and refocused on the type of clients we want to work with. And we moved into the real estate industry and have really focused there. So Paul mentioned some new projects we've been working on. And if you go on our social media at Team Soul Gold or even our personal social medias, you may see some of that work that we've been doing, some of the projects we've been working on. It's been really fun.
It has been so fun, you guys. And this is probably like a month into it. Maybe, I'm kind of losing track. Maybe more than a month.
Yeah. So we just launched recently, I would say probably within the four weeks or so.
Yeah. And before this, we were doing all social media management, like all social media work, and now transitioning into real estate marketing specifically, which still includes social media. It's just a lot different. We're not managing profiles for these realtors per se. We're helping them with like Instagram stories and things like that. And we got a project through Instagram. And so I messaged this realtor on Instagram and was like, hey, we want to work with you. We're fellow business owners in Silicon Valley. We'd love to work with you. Some sort of message like that. I DM'd her and she said yes to us photographing and doing some videos, 3D tours, and all these other things for her upcoming listing in Sunnyvale, California. And it was just so much fun. Honestly, pulling up to that home, I felt a little nervous. I felt like overwhelmed with emotions because it's just like this beautiful, amazing house. And I just felt so thankful that this is like something that we get to do for work. It was like really emotional for me, that whole, because we've been working on that project for probably like 2 weeks now, I think.
For that particular house? Yeah, I think it was maybe a week and a half worth of work.
Yeah. So it's weird because normally our projects are years long, months long. And this is like, it gets turned around in a week and a half and it's basically done.
Yeah, it's really nice. So I think that's a bigger change for us, is where when we do work on accounts, typically it's a year, at least 2 years long, where we're working on it daily, where this is a little different, where it's more, once you start the project, there's an end date, and it's a little bit sooner, right? It's within a week or 2 weeks compared to like a year or 2 years. So that's been a really big change for us. So once we deliver on the project, we're done and we're ready for the next project. And of course, we work with these clients with the goal of having a long-term working relationship.
Yeah, so I feel like this is just the beginning of this amazing relationship with our client. And if you guys, like Tommy said, go on our socials, I want to link the video that we made below in the description. If you guys are watching on YouTube, go watch it. Like I feel like I watch it.
Let's pop it up right here. We'll pop it up right here.
I watch it every single day, multiple times, because I'm just so excited about this new direction. And Tommy almost like makes fun of me for it, but I just like embrace it because he's like, you're watching it again. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like we talk about this on the podcast all the time, of celebrating your accomplishments and celebrating how far you've come. And we've worked so hard to get to this point where we can make these videos and do these photos for our clients to help market their listings. And like, it's happening. And I just feel really thankful for that. But with that, I feel like we were working so much in that week and a half, where it's like we were working until like 2 a.m. Saturday. We worked all day Saturday.
Probably, I would say the last 2 weeks, including this past weekend and the weekend before, I was working for 14 days straight, basically. Saturday and even into Saturday. And then Sundays, I have to wake up pretty early, at about 6 a.m., 6:30, and get ready and be somewhere at 7:30.
Yeah, and we worked
to get ready. And, I'm working the night before until like midnight, 1 a.m. So it's really been a grind. So when people talk about that grind, that's, we were just really in it. And but I love it. I love this stuff. I love having all of that. Just kind of, just hustling and grinding.
Yeah, I feel like there's a healthy balance between like this hustle, because we talk about like the hustle, and like that can also be really draining, but like there's something about this hustle that's really rewarding, and we know it's not going to be forever. So I think that's a difference between hustling for social media management versus hustling for a video that we need to turn around soon, or photos we need to edit, social media posts we need to create. It's like we know there's the deadline, and it feels so freeing and good. It's like, that's why I keep watching that video and I'm like, we're done. Like, yeah. And it's so exciting. But like that work-life balance in that, I started to feel worried if this was going to be our normal. And like afterwards, we're like, we're not going to do projects on Saturday anymore, because we have super, super early Sunday mornings already. Now we're going to have super early Saturdays if we work on Saturday, because you're doing photos and videos in the morning. Yeah. And sometimes in the evening if you're doing twilight shoots. So it's like a whole day thing. So we were working, you said 14 days straight. That sounds about right.
I mean, it was 14 days straight. I mean, so earlier this week was Labor Day weekend as well. And we were working on Monday. So I think yes, like the hustle and grind is great, but you can only do it for so long until you get to that point where you just can't go anymore. Yeah.
And so we're trying to not do that. And so that's why today we're like, let's talk about work-life balance. If you guys, as you're listening to this, if you're like listening just on the Apple Podcast or wherever, you can always message us after. Let us know any tips you guys have for work-life balance. Even if you're a student, it doesn't matter if you have a different type of life stage than we do. We want to hear how you guys balance your work and your life, or, work looks different for everybody. So give us some tips, because we really do need it. And it's been, so we had that real estate stuff. Yeah. And then Tommy gave a message at church. And it's so funny because if you guys are listeners of It's a Win-Win, you know that I gave a message, I think in like May of this year. And it took me like a month to prepare for that message. And I kind of talked about the painful realities of saying yes. That was a previous podcast that you guys can listen to if you would like to. And for me, it took a month to prepare for my message. I think it's just a different type of message than what Tommy was presenting. And so Tommy ended up saying yes to share his story. So if you guys want to watch that, you should also check that out. We've been working on a lot of content stuff lately, if you guys can't tell.
Yeah, we have been. And so I gave a message earlier this week on the Sunday, within those like last 2 weeks of just, working basically 14, 15 days straight.
Yeah.
So, on top of all the real estate stuff, all of our business stuff that we've been working on, coordinating with the clients, going on site, all that kind of stuff, I was preparing for a message at the same time and just making sure, I'm able to deliver there as well. But it's weird, and I know like this whole work-life balance thing, it's not a new topic. It's been there. If anything, this time period right now in our lives with what we're doing, it's just a great reminder to have some of that, to have some balance in some way, where it's great to work hard, but also I think it's great to rest hard. And with all those things together, it was just a great reminder, I think, for us to be able to take some time to rest as well.
Yes, it is important to rest. And I want to share with you guys how we've been able to kind of find moments of rest, moments of quiet in the middle of a really crazy 2 weeks, because I'm not used to that type of schedule where it's, and we've been in this generally like similar rhythm. Tommy has soccer one day, he's surfing this day, I'm doing this one day. It's just, we've had a rhythm, and then these last 2 weeks, it's just no rhythm whatsoever. It's just like we've been working straight. It's been really weird. So what's been helpful for me work-life balance wise is making sure that I have things on my calendar with friends. Since we don't have any family here, I think, I would, if I did, I'd put family time in there for sure. Tommy and I feel like could be better at making time for each other. I think because we work at home all day, we stay home together, like we're in each other's presence. I think it's easy to like forget about that. Cause like if we worked separately, I think we'd be more intentional spending time together after work, but we literally do everything together. But I think one thing I want to improve on is making time for date nights, because I think we've been really bad at that.
Yeah, we have not been very great at date night stuff.
Yeah, and I don't like date nights in the house. Like, I don't even care if, we go and just get ice cream and sit outside at the mall or something. Like, to me, that seems better than getting ice cream at the grocery store and coming home and eating it. There's just a difference in that. And so I feel like for me, what has worked lately for work-life balance is planning time with friends. Like, we went to go see Jackie and Nico last week, and that was also part of like preparing for this message and all these new opportunities we were doing. It was also an opportunity to take pictures of their son, their newborn son, which is so exciting. And that still, even though we were doing photos and it was content, we were able to spend time with them, people that just like fill us up and fill our hearts up so much with gratitude and love. And we just feel like we can truly rest from work. And it's funny because Tommy was actually working when we were there, but I just still felt restful to me. And I felt like it was a good balance of like work and life.
Yeah, and I think, on the topic of rest, what I think is something I've learned about myself actually within these past 2 weeks is that, so I typically find a lot of rest in like mental rest. I've talked about this in a previous podcast. There's like, there's like physical rest and mental rest. And I found that I wasn't getting enough mental rest, and I've kind of understood and realized like what my go-tos are when I want that rest. So typically when I find rest, mental rest, I'm doing a physical activity. So that's either playing soccer, that's going surfing, or playing basketball, right? And those last 2 weeks, I didn't get to do any of those things. I think soccer maybe the first week, but this past week, I didn't get to do any of that. I haven't been surfing in the last 2 weeks. I haven't played basketball in the last 2 weeks, and I maybe surfing once. And
it's weird.
What I've kind of like went to, since I couldn't do those, I remember, I think it was it Sunday night? It was Sunday night. I just wanted to watch a movie. I went late in bed, threw on my noise canceling headphones, got on the laptop, got popcorn, just got snacks, and just like went into the room by myself. This was like 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah.
During the daytime, like
we were exhausted like on Sunday.
And it wasn't like a physical exhaustion, at least not for me. It was more like a mental thing.
Yeah.
And this was after my talk, at Eden, and I just put down the window blinds. Luckily, we had blackout curtains, or I don't know what you call those, blackout shades, and closed the door. I told Sopa, don't bother me. I'm gonna be in the room. I'm just gonna be super comfy and just lay here and just watch a movie. And I kind of just found my mental rest.
You didn't say don't bother you.
I didn't. Well, you kind of know, because I'm like, I kind of close the door a little bit. I don't close it all the way, but I kind of...
Basically, just don't be blasting music and being all loud and rude, out here. Well,
not
I guess
even
you can't
that
hear
because
it.
I have noise canceling, but it's just like I just wanted to be by myself and just watch a movie and just kind of have that mental rest, not to think about work, have to think about anything, and just consume something, consume some content, consume a movie.
Yeah.
And I find, and I typically don't watch movies that often, but if I want to get myself into that state and wanting to do that, it's because I didn't get to go surfing. I didn't go do something like active wise, like my active rest. And I'm like, man, that's just more of an awareness, a self awareness about myself that I learned the last 2 weeks.
That's really good. It's like, it's not a trigger. I forgot, I don't know the word I'm trying to think of, but it's almost like you're signaling yourself through your habits or your desires of like, hey, I need a mental break, because he has truly been like problem solving and like learning and doing and trying new things, stepping into so many new things. Public speaking is like a huge thing that he doesn't necessarily do all the
Yeah,
time.
and public speaking is, I would say, one of the most challenging things for people. It's to get up in front of an audience of people and speak to them.
In a very vulnerable setting too. It's not like he's
Yeah.
talking about like, this is how you use the camera. It's like, this is my faith journey and like all the things that he's just exposing,
Yeah.
and Tommy generally is, I'd say, very private, and, like he keeps things between us and like things to like just certain people he'll share certain things with. And I respect that. And I love that so much about him. So for him to get out of his comfort zone to talk to like over 100 people online and in person about like very vulnerable things, I think it takes so much out of you. And like on top of that, working and being like mentally using his brain to like figure things out was a lot for him. And I feel like if he can't do work-life balance in the way that he really sees it, like
normally do it. Yeah.
He found another way, which is through movies. And fires in California have been really bad, and our air quality has been awful. I mean, my skin feels super dry. It's like everything's just dry, and it's just not like I can barely see like the mountain structures. And normally you can like see it because it's it's been so smoky.
The mountain structures
or mountain.
Is that what they're called?
No,
mountain range.
the outlines.
Mountain range. Or like the peaks of the mountains.
Yeah, whatever.
Mountain structures.
I just can't see the mountains, basically. And that's something that I really love about California. And so I've been a little bit sad. But anyway, so work-life balance for you when you can't be active, mentally resting, you like movies or...
Yeah, it's almost in a way, like I don't really want to use this word because that's not what it is, but like escapism, just kind of escaping reality for just a little bit and just going off into my own world, I guess, which is like a movie, which is why I like watching like those like sci-fi type movies.
Yeah, not really my vibe. I mean, I'll watch it with him, but yeah, he likes to immerse himself into like another world, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of my thing. That's why I have the noise canceling. I like to like really be in it.
Yeah, and then we went to Dollar Tree and got a bunch of like snacks and candy because it's so cheap there, and you could just kind of get whatever. We limited ourselves, but like he got his stuff, I got my stuff, and he got Mike and Ike's, which I thought was like the worst thing you could possibly get. I'm like, why Mike?
It was
and
more
Ike's?
like nostalgic. I mean, I remember why I don't get Mike and Ike's, but it was good for like the first 5 seconds you get the flavor, and then the little jelly part is it sticks to your teeth.
It's meh.
Not great.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna get hot fries. I got like sweet tart ropes. What do you guys like to eat when you guys watch movies? Let us know.
I got Reese's Cup. That's amazing.
And I got Mr. Goodbar, and he was making fun of me as if that was like the worst chocolate to get. I'm like, I like Mr. Goodbar. My family likes Mr. Goodbar.
Who here gets Mr. Goodbar?
Who
I didn't even know.
gets Mike and
I didn't even
Ike's?
know they still made that.
Yeah, no one likes Mike and Ike's. People like chocolate.
Have you guys had 100 Grand? It's a candy bar. It's pretty good. I don't get it often. Actually, I haven't gotten it in years. But it's amazing. It's like caramel. And
also, I forgot to mention, so for me, for my work-life balance, spending time with friends, I'm really like, how do I say this in a nice way? I have a lot, I feel like, on my plate right now. And so I'm very like careful on how I give others my energy and how I use the energy that I have, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not the most high energy person in the room. I'm introverted. Social interaction can be very exhausting for me. And I feel like I'm constantly exerting my social energy with like clients, people on our team. I mean, I love them. I'm very thankful for all of them. It's just introvert like life.
Yeah, I mean, I think you like need time by yourself, right? To kind of re-energize, refuel.
Yes. That's why I'm constantly rewatching movies that bring me comfort. I like eating the same foods. So for me, my work-life balance, the way I balance like a busy, crazy workload, which I feel like has been our reality for a while now, is like people always want to say like, why do you like to watch Legally Blonde every day, all the time, every month, Mean Girls, or like shows on Netflix over? Like I will literally watch all my shows. It's because to me, it's just so comforting. I know what to expect. I know what the lines are. I know how it's going to make me feel. I know I'm probably going to cry if I watch The Notebook again. And to me, that idea, because I walk into so much uncertainty all the time in my clients, every project's different. So, going to church, you never know who's going to come through your door, emails, everything. Like my life feels so uncertain a lot of the time, and I always feel a little unsettled because I just don't know what's going to happen. So when I watch these movies and these shows I've watched 100 times, eating the same Chick-fil-A nuggets forever in the same In-N-Out order forever, it's just comforting to me. So I kind of balance craziness with consistency and things that I know how they're going to turn out.
I think that's really interesting because I've never heard you talk about that or say that. So you like kind of like predictability, like things that are planned, like you just know what's coming next because you get so much uncertainty, so much unknown that you, in some way, it makes it more settling for you to know what's coming up next.
Yeah, because I'm constantly, I don't know if that sounds dramatic, but literally my life is just constantly unknown. It's like there's new things I'm constantly doing at church, or new things we're doing in Soul Gold, or new things with like my team, and like new photos, new videos, new things to edit, new captions to write. It's like there's never anything in my work that just always stays the same. Like it's just always different, even if it is kind of the same.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think this is for a lot of people, maybe not everyone, but when you have uncertainty in your life or you have unknowns, going into things, I think you spend a lot of time figuring things out, right?
Dude, like all the time, constantly figuring things out, constantly like, what is the solution? How can I make this better? It's just better,
Yeah. So, with that introduces like anxiousness, maybe nervousness, and just an overall stress, right? And when you get that all the time, it can be hard. It can weigh on you. And you just need to find something to be able to relieve that, which is why we're talking about this today, like this whole work-life balance. And we asked earlier if you guys have any thoughts on that, how you guys do it. And to me, I think it's kind of like we've heard it before. It's a Wiz Khalifa song, "Work hard, play hard," right? That's kind of like the balance in a way. And all of us, we get energy. We how would you say it? Like we get energy from different things. Like for like us introverts, we get energy by being by ourselves.
Yeah.
And extroverts, right? They get energy from being around other people. They feed off other people's energy.
That's such a concept to me that I just will never ever be able to like be, because I'm so like in my heart, I really do re-energize by myself. But I was meeting with Rachel yesterday, and again, this is how I work-life balance, meeting with friends, my friend Rachel. I'm going to have her on the podcast soon. I talked to her about that.
Okay.
And she's awesome.
I'll be down. She watches. So Rachel, shout out to you if you're watching right now. Also, quick shout out to her. She also shared her story at Eden the same day I did. And then also with Karina, if she's watching it all, shout out to you too. So shout out to both of you guys.
Yes. So we're going to have Rachel on the podcast. But I was meeting with her yesterday, and I did not know if she was introvert or extrovert. And this is the work-life balance thing. It's so funny because I'm like, man, I really want to meet with her. I texted her last minute. I'm like, hey, you're free for dinner? Because Tommy had dinner plans with some other people at church. And she was like, yeah, I can come over. And so it worked out. And in my mind the whole time, I'm like, is she tired? Does she want to go home? Like, am I talking too much? Because we haven't really hung out one-on-one together before. I've only seen her like in other social settings. And I thought she was introverted. And then she's sitting there. She's like, oh, I'm good. She's like, I get refueled by spending time like with people. And I was like, you're extroverted. I don't know why it didn't come off to me as she would be extroverted. Did you think she was?
Now that I think about it, I mean, I don't know. Rachel, I don't know you like as well as maybe Sopa does. I could see that, like, going surfing and stuff. Like we've hung out together. It's always been in a group setting, and that's always been really fun. So I can definitely see that. Yeah,
it was just so funny because she's like, yeah, I get a lot of energy being around people, and I was like, the whole time I was just trying to figure out if she was like, am I talking too much? Is she like tired? Does she want to go home? Because it was like 3 or 4 hours into the dinner, and I was like, I was doing fine because I do fine one-on-one. Like I'm not drained by people's energy when it's one-on-one like that, and they can carry conversation. So I was great. I was just worried she was going to be exhausted. And she's like, I could go on. you know.
Maybe Rachel, maybe you're a calm
She
extrovert,
is a calm extrovert. I think I
like a
did tell
chill
her that.
extrovert.
And I think
If
that's
that's
why
yeah.
I can vibe with her so well. And I think about like Jackie, who I think is extroverted as well.
Oh yeah, Jackie,
You know,
you're extroverted for sure.
yeah. But then you have Nico's introverted. And I think like we we have, I don't know, we attract the opposites. You know what I mean? It's like I think about Chelsea, who's very extroverted. Think about Rachel, she's extroverted. Me and you, I don't know.
I
We're
think
just
I'm
introvert.
like 50-50 because I can get I can feed off energy off other people. It just really depends on how I'm feeling or how my mood is like that day. Like I've taken a test one time like a super long time ago. It was like 50-50.
Okay, 50-50.
But I think naturally introvert for sure.
Yeah. And another way that I've been doing like this whole work life balance thing has been going to the mall all by myself. It has been the best thing ever. And I love our mall. I think it's like, I don't know, I just feel really safe there. It's really clean and there's so many things and stores and boba places that I enjoy and food places. So I have been going to the mall to balance crazy work. And even if it's like for an hour and a half all by myself, I just love going to the mall by myself and looking at every single piece of clothing on the rack, looking at the prices, going and get inspired on YouTube, going to see it in real life. Sometimes I buy things, sometimes I don't. And I just like bought these pants I've been wanting for years for myself for my birthday. And I feel like $1,000,000 wearing those pants. And I'm like, that's kind of how I've been balancing this crazy work life, you know?
Yeah, and I think when we think about rest too, I want to touch on this a little bit more because I know we're talking about like kind of the things that we do, and I think there's also a danger in how we rest, and I think we have to be very intentional about that. So, in terms of resting, right, I think of it as refueling. Resting to me doesn't mean just sitting there doing nothing, unless
True.
that refuels you. Unless you like need to take naps, like maybe you need physical rest, which is great. We all need both, right, mental and physical.
Yeah.
And so when I speak of the danger of like the resting side of things is when I talk about refueling, it's not like we're laying there just on the couch on our phone on TikTok or on Instagram just scrolling mindlessly.
Yeah, that's
That's
tiring if
that's
anything.
just like empty rest really. And it's not really refueling you. So for those of you who may be struggling with maybe the whole work-life balancing, and maybe you feel like you're working a lot, maybe find something that does actually re-energize you. Maybe that's an activity, or maybe that's hanging out with friends, whatever it may be.
Or like if you like cooking, like I think about my sister Savali, like she loves to cook and it's like really life-giving to her,
Yeah.
to be able to feed her family and to try new recipes. I think for her work-life balance has to be cooking. I don't know, maybe she'll comment below. She's not one to always comment on YouTube. I know she watches the videos, or she'll message us after. But I think about that. Like, it doesn't have to be surfing or it doesn't have to be shopping. Because I know some people who really don't like shopping. I know some people who are terrified of water or aren't very active, right?
Yep.
So I'd love to just know how you guys find rest in your work. Because I know we're all busy people, right? But we do make time for the things that are important to us.
And also on the other side of things, so we're talking about rest, the work side of things, it doesn't have to be just work, right? If you're a single parent and you have kids, or your parents in general and you have kids, like finding some rest in that. And I'm sure you parents out there understand that and know that.
Yeah.
But finding rest in all the things that you do, and just finding some time for yourself or for you and your significant other, like we talked about the dating part, like I think that could really change our dynamic, really change our quality of life if we can be a little bit more intentional about that, right? We are together a lot of the time throughout the day, but it's different. It's like working, it's like all these other things, like
Yeah.
just doing stuff, but not really spending real quality time together.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you don't long for that more because your love language is quality time.
I think quality time too, yes, but also just being in the presence, in the
Like you're already
having the
feeling
company,
it fulfilled.
yeah, like that kind of fills me, like just having your presence.
Yeah, interesting. Well, for me, I don't know. I just think I'm still figuring out how to balance this crazy like work-life balance thing, and I don't think I'm perfect by any means with it. If anything, I could get a lot better at it, but I feel like I just have to go back to the things that make me feel like happy inside.
Yeah.
And it's like I love food. I love food. Eating out. I love getting my boba. I love my salt and straw ice cream, my Phil's coffee. Small little things like that help me kind of balance it. And I feel like I haven't really been doing a lot of that. We've been eating at home a lot. I've had like no coffee in the house for, I feel like, ever. And, I've been really just like missing those little components that I would have at home to bring me little pockets of peace and joy in the day. And so I think that's one thing after reflecting on this whole work-life balance thing that I can do more of.
Yeah, and another thing to think about too, which I've thought about, is just the frequency of when you rest. For some people, they can go really hard, work really hard and hustle for a month.
Yeah.
But then they need to take like a month off or take a week off or whatever it looks like for you. For me, what I've been trying to do is having more of that throughout the week, where something that we've reminded ourselves of is to when we're working, because the work will always be there, right? Whatever type of job you have, whatever you do, it's always going to be there if whether you finish it today or tomorrow. And what we've learned the past couple of weeks is to have a cutoff, to cut it off. And it's like 5 or 5:30. We're like, okay, after this time, no more work stuff. Like no more working on the business, no more working on eating stuff. We're just going to cut it off. And now we're going to have time for ourselves, whatever we decide to do with that time. And that's one thing that I've actually really been enjoying. Like, hey, I feel really good. It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm done. And I can go on Instagram, go and watch a movie, whatever I want to do, right? And it's been really good for me.
Yeah, outside of the deadlines with the Saturday, Sunday, like craziness, when it's a deadline, it's a deadline. Like it won't always be there because you have to get it done.
That makes sense.
But the things that like will always be there, that has been game changer. So that is one thing I'm thankful you shared that, is like having that cutoff. And, sometimes I find myself going back to my desk because I literally see it all day. My computer is there it's just in front of me all the time. And so I feel like if I didn't work at home, I'd have a much better work-life balance, but I would never trade going to have to like go somewhere to work when I could just do it right here in the comfort
But the flexibility, I think, is something we really enjoy. The flexibility and the freedom. But yes, like Sopha said, it really has been a game changer to just cut it off. And as much as we want to go back to our desk and work at 10 p.m. at night, we can wait till tomorrow morning to do it because it will still be there.
Yeah,
the laptop is not going to run away.
You're definitely better at it than me. I think for me, I can work on it. It's just been part of my rhythms and habits for so many years, like since college and high school and everything up until now of, you work all the time to get it done. And I'm like the type that likes to get ahead. Like if I have things that need to be done tomorrow, I begin working on it in advance, like I don't just wait until the last.
Yeah. Like you said, like if you have time, you want to get ahead.
Always.
But I think you have to be intentional because your health, your physical and your mental health are so much more important than the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just my opinion. Some of you guys may disagree, but your health is your wealth. So you may be working so hard for all this money, but if your health isn't there, you're going to die.
Yeah.
You ain't going to be there to enjoy it.
That is true. And we've been trying to work out too. And so just moving our bodies because we know we're like kind of staying here in our chairs all day. And so, yeah, those are just some of the things that we've been doing for our work-life balance. And I just, again, would love to hear how you guys are processing this. Do you struggle with this? Do you got it figured out? Because we just want to know. And I think it does mean the world when you guys share your thoughts, your insights. And it makes me so happy when I see messages on Instagram or text messages or, just comments in the comment section on YouTube. It does make a difference. It pushes us to keep going and making content for you guys.
Yeah. And we're really open and receptive to any ideas in terms of topics or even just like how you guys find rest and balance everything. And if you guys want any advice, if you guys came here for some advice on this, I don't know. I mean, take it however you want to take it. But if you're looking for ways to find rest, find a hobby, find something that interests you, find something that you actually want to do and be selfish about it because I am very selfish in my rest. It's like, for me, my hobbies are going surfing, playing soccer, playing basketball. And yes, I am around people. And yes, I'm an introvert, but something about it fills me up. It's something there, and I feel great afterwards. I feel like, okay, like this is awesome.
I think the best part about your rest is it doesn't cost money necessarily. Like you buy a surfboard one time and you're done. You buy a wetsuit one time, you're done. You buy a wax cycle once, you're done.
Kind of. For
me, my struggle is that the things that I like to participate in almost always cost money. I love to eat out. I love all those things. Everything costs money. Shopping costs money. And if I'm window shopping, I'm still thinking about like, man, how cool would it be to have that pair of sneakers or whatever?
Yes, very true that all the things that we do may cost money or time, right? That's why we have a budget. That's why we have a spending plan.
Yeah. Yes, we do have a spending plan, or some people call it a budget. And that is very helpful because, like, I know I can get boba once a week and I'm good. I want to
try
to have it once a week.
Again, we're not perfect. We don't have it all figured out.
No.
But last month, man, I was going through our budgets.
He pumped the brakes on the boba runs.
E-brake. I had to hit the...
Yeah, he was like, you need to chill. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
And it's a health thing, not a money thing.
I think it's a both for him.
Boba has a lot of sugar, man.
I just love it. I feel like I barely consume sugar normally.
Sugar, this is a whole nother topic, but sugar is a drug that we all forget about.
Oh gosh, if my nieces, any of them are listening to this, they have the same reaction I do because they know Tommy and the sugar consumption.
If sugar is not a drug, then try to stop eating it for a whole week. See what your body does. When you withdraw from drugs, your body goes through withdrawals. Is that how you say it? I'm bad at pronouncing words. Is it withdrawals? I cannot pronounce words, but
all the people,
I'm just saying, man.
All the medical friends are like,
thumbs up if you guys laughed. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to wrap up today's podcast because I think we're rambling at this point talking about sugar consumption. But this is just a real us, you guys. This was just the way it all came out, basically. And we're just so thankful that you guys took the time to listen, that you took the time to view. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you guys for the next episode on It's a Win-Win soon.
Yep. And my name is Tommy Wynn.
And I'm Sopa.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.